Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Scott Giegrick, and on the line with us is Carl Fortuna and Matt Pugliese. We're calling our meeting to order at 8:30 on June 10th. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please,
If we can.
if you are able. I pledge allegiance
Pledge
to the
allegiance
flag of the United States of America and to the
to
republic,
the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and
liberty
justice.
for all. All right.
All right, so I'm looking and I do not see anyone from the public at this point in time, so we'll have no comments from the public. Comments from the selectmen. Matt?
I have, I guess my only comment is a question. Carl, have we had any conversation or heard anything from counsel for Mr. Kodama?
Yes. So there's been a couple revisions. So we received their revisions probably, what's today? Today is Tuesday. A week and a half ago. I got together immediately with our attorney, and within 24 hours, we sent them back. So they have now had our revised revisions for a week, and I've heard nothing. So I will tell you that there is definitely a little bit of a delay on their part. We're not, I don't think we're asking for anything crazy in these docs. I don't want to get into it in the middle of a meeting about the details of the docs, because eventually they'll be public should this go forward. I am getting quotes. I did get quotes on a pavilion. I did get quotes on paving, and I'm awaiting a quote on what it would cost to install 0.66 acres of beautiful lawn. So waiting for all that, waiting for that last quote. And then hopefully we'll have documents back if we can come to terms, which we haven't yet. So that is your answer right there.
Okay, thank you very much.
So
Okay.
I'll make a couple. I think I told you that the low bid on the crosswalk project didn't feel like they could do the work after they bid on it, which is weird. But so we did go to the next low bidder. Just yesterday, we noticed the award to B&W Landscaping and Paving. They also were awarded the Chalkers Mill Pond project. So they're going to be doing both these projects probably in the July to September timeframe. The crosswalk project, they yesterday indicated they were targeting for August. So also the construction on the west end of town right now is Connecticut Water installing a main, and that is all night work from here on out. So hopefully there'll be less disruption to Route 1. I know last week they were doing something and it caused quite a traffic jam on Route 1, but the whole plan was for them to do some work during the day for the first week, but after that they're working nights. And again, the Chalkers Mill Pond Dam project, like I said, is proceeding a little later this summer. And let's see, obviously the legislature ended the other day, ended with their session. Honestly, I get, and Matt sees it, Matt is very in tune with it, I'm sure. I see a lot of stuff up there that scares the living, and every first selectman and mayor does, and others see stuff that they think is a little bit over the top. Thankfully, a lot of it did get defeated, in my humble opinion. A lot of it got defeated. The one thing that is currently being, the one thing that would affect the town of Old Saybrook and every other town is House Bill 5002, which is what we're hearing about housing. And that was a bill that was passed from the Senate, through the Senate and the House. And there was bipartisan opposition. So it passed. So that means more were in favor than against. But there was some bipartisan in the Senate. I know Norm Needleman abstained. I don't know if he just wasn't there that day or not, but in the House too. The governor is looking at it. I think the governor would like to see some changes made because there's, and I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't think it's going out on a limb and saying that there's a lot of bipartisan concern with elements of the bill. For instance, you can turn basically almost any commercial building into residential. The concern with that is you're taking commercial off the books. And a lot of towns want as much commercial on the books, hoping to fill it and get in the tax base with that. So that is one concern. I know that's out there. I got someone, anyway, and then another one is requirement for parking. And, if you build units, I think it's less than 24 units, you'd have no requirement to have parking for that. So the concern there is that you'll have a lot of street parking. So you'll end up, let's say someone in Indiantown or on near, it's neighbor on Little Sled Drive next to me, you cleared lots, want to have parks to have parking that lot. It's just there is all, you know,
Hey, Carl, you're breaking up on us. Are you still there?
Yeah, I can't really, I'm not making any of this out.
All right, so I'm taking some notes. Carl, we're.
yeah, yep.
All right, I can summarize briefly. I think what he had said is that that Bill had some concerns with regard to changing instantly commercial property into personal homing and any less than 24 units wouldn't require parking, and that's a concern, especially in a small area like us.
Yeah, and Matt, previously Matt had asked me a question about the Point LLC deal, the Dock and Dine deal, and I said we're still going back and forth with
Yeah, we
documents.
got you in that, so we've had you in that, so we only missed a teeny bit.
Oh, I didn't realize, it sounds like it just started recording, that's why.
It just, you were coming in and out for a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I didn't realize that. Anyway, so I won't go into all that other than what I just said. So we'll see what happens with that. The governor sounds like he'd like to try to do something with that bill before he signs it into law. I'm not going to go into any other bills that were defeated because they were defeated. As it turns out, we're getting more money next year. Not a lot more, about $60,000 more. And most of that is in town aid road. So that'll be additional revenue to the town. What else? That's about it. I'm good. That I can think of all. I'm driving. Jennifer Donahue has submitted all the NAA applications that we did the other day. Wait, where am I going? Okay, make sure I was going in the right direction. She submitted all those applications, so that's all set. And we have our June 22nd party that we're planning for. Obviously, getting down to the wire with that. And that looks really good. We just need the weather to cooperate. Hopefully all this bad weather will clear out by then. That's all I got.
All right, well, thank you. And I'll pass any comments for right now. I did see your update And I think that's worthwhile for anyone to view in the news section of the town website. They have the monthly update, and I think that 10 minutes is well worth watching because it kind of outlines a lot of projects that are going on and it informs people, so I appreciate that, thanks. So we'll look for approval of the minutes. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from May 13th, 2025.
I'll second them.
Okay, so all those in favor signify by
Well,
saying.
and Matt, everybody good with them?
Yep.
Yep, okay.
All right, so all in favor? Okay, nobody's
Aye.
opposed, so that's our minutes. We have business before the board. The item number Roman numeral 6, letter A is the presentation of the Ms. President's US
Yeah.
Girls Civic Leadership Program, and I know we're
Yeah,
gonna table it.
she's not here today. I think it would be nice if the full board could be there. So, Matt, I don't know if you guys are available, even if we don't have a lot of other business on June 24th, just to hear from her if at 6 o'clock. So I'd like to table this until we, I don't want her to, I'd like her to make a presentation to the board and so we can hear her. So that's tabled. Why don't we just move on the agenda?
Okay, and then.
Yep, the next meeting seems fine for me.
Yeah, good.
Okay, still on item 6, letter B, business before the board, discussion, possible action on the call of town meeting June 24th. And so that is a 2-item.
Yep.
Issue.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, good. I'll second that.
Yep. So this is obviously with regard to the transfer of funds because we took the second bidder on the crosswalk project. And then what's the other project? I'm forgetting.
One is we have $890,000 that we would approve the appropriation. We need to borrow 222 from our non-recurring fund. The rest.
Oh, right, for the steep grant, right, for the steep grant. Yep,
Yep.
yep. And I think everybody understands that project. I asked Jeff Jake, so that project, the digging and the draining part of the project is completely designed. They're finishing up the parking lot right now, and it's not gonna be construction for this year, but there's no reason that won't be done in the spring, in my opinion. And out to bid this winter, and digging as soon as they can get out there. And so hopefully, yeah, that field is in playable shape by next summer. That's the hope.
Well, that's really exciting because I was on
Shovel ready.
I was on Parks and Recreation back in, more than 15 or 16 years ago when we originally obtained that field, and it's exciting to see its evolution.
And just a comment, we've been putting aside money into the capital non-recurring fund for years. And I know we all want to do projects. And by the way, if there's projects, we're going to have a surplus this year. If there's projects the board would like to see put forward, maybe it's something we can all discuss. But to have that money in our arsenal is really important. And we, for a town that has a $50 million budget and lots of capital projects, we only have about almost not quite 3 million in a capital non-recurring fund. We're going to build on it this year, but having that money to say to the state, hey, we'll put down 25%, no problem. That puts us, and I think Matt knows this, I mean, from a matching perspective, it's really good to be able to say, yeah, we're good for that money, or we're good for 40%, even 50%. So, putting this money aside and we built our reserves to 17%. We're going to keep them there. And then keeping these funds in a capital account, and we're spending them. We spend it every year. We spend a lot of money on capital, is really advantageous. That's my 2 cents. I think it's good that we built this fund.
Yes, I agree.
Right, so we've had a motion, a second, some discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, so we do have that call. It's here at Town Hall. I'll sign it today and then you guys will sign it when you get in here.
Yep.
Next up, our tax refunds, which is letter C on item 6. We have, well, refund approval. Mark Delmonico has given us some information. There's a total of $27,350.67. And he has itemized in a packet that we have here. So what we're looking for is a motion to approve the refunds, the tax refunds for,
Yeah, I'll make the motion. I'll make that motion, Scott.
I'll second that.
So Matt, you did not see this, right? Matt,
Yeah, I did not see this. So
if you
I'm
want,
gonna,
you need, feel free to abstain if you want.
yeah, I'm gonna abstain.
All right.
Okay. Tax refunds from February 1st, 25 to May 31st, 25. So again, it's a whole packet here that it itemizes everything. So we have a first and a second, we have a motion and a second. We've had some discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstaining?
I will abstain.
Okay. So that passes. We have item letter B, discussion possible action on refund of driveway encroachment permit bond for 107 Nehantic Trail. That's presented here as is normal. And so I believe that we'll look for a motion to make that refund.
Yeah, I'll make the motion. And I'm sorry, what the motion, say it again. It's the item number is what?
This is letter D on item 6. It's the refund of a driveway encroachment permit bond for 107 Nehantic Trail.
Yeah, that's as you guys know, very standard. You know, people come in, they give us $1,500. Bill goes out and looks at it, make sure they did the driveway correctly so that they don't impinge on the town's right of way. And we do this just, you know, maybe you guys already know this, but a lot of times people will put a Belgian block entrance to their driveway and they put it right to the edge of the road, and we don't allow that. We want them to have a little bit of an asphalt apron. And I'm not saying it was done here, but this is typically what we look out for. So that the plow trucks, when they come in the winter, don't catch a piece of Belgian block, so that they're plowing over smooth pavement and not anything that's up 2 or 3 inches. So that's what Bill looks out for, stuff like that.
Right. So all in favor of that refund? I say
Aye.
that's aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, no abstentions. Letter E on item 6, discussion and action to sunset the oversight committee, the law enforcement fund. So I'll make that motion that we sunset that fund and the committee. Look for a second.
I'll second.
I figured you would. That's why I let you.
And so
yeah.
discussions.
So, yeah, I think Matt brought this up at the last meeting, and I think I verified with Ryan Walsh that, yeah, these funds have been fully expended and there's no need for an oversight committee. So it's nice to sunset a committee when you don't need it. So,
Right, so we've had a motion, a second discussion. All those in favor
yeah,
signify.
and Matt, yeah, go ahead, Matt. Yep.
Yeah, I want to ask a question for clarification, because my understanding is that, in discussing I think the one time that this committee met over the last 6 years that I was the board's representative to it, was that, somebody could make a bequest to the department and there would be, funds that would then fall under the purview of this committee so I agree with
Yep.
sunsetting the committee, but what would happen if, tomorrow after we
Yeah.
sunset this, somebody makes a charitable bequest to the police department? Do we have to reestablish this committee or,
I don't know that so, a lot of the funds that were in this were much older bequests that were made to what they called the MAC fund.
Mhm.
I think as a result of time, any such bequest would have aged out by now. So if someone says, hey, I want to donate $5,000 to the department, I think what would happen is the chief would bring that to the police commission, and maybe the board of selectmen or board of finance should be alerted. And I don't know that it needs an oversight, the quote unquote oversight committee. That was court ordered, Matt. And the makeup of it was court ordered. So
Mhm.
maybe it might be more informal, where it is a oversight of the police commission, possibly alone, based on the bequest. Or if the police commission, if it was large enough, if it's $5,000, but if it was $100,000, I think it's certainly something that the board of selectmen, board of finance might be more interested in. So, but the oversight committee was formed as a result of um, legal troubles. Uh, if a bequest is made into the MAC fund by somebody at some point, or what was the MAC fund or successor to the MAC fund or whatever, I think then we just have to take it up again. Whether we have to actually have the oversight committee or not, I think that is a relic of the past at this point. I really do.
Okay.
Um, I think there are other ways to have proper oversight, but I think we'll cross that bridge if we ever. I doubt we'll ever come to it, but if we do, we'll cross that bridge. But simple bequests to the department, they are made and they are overseen by the police commission. This was entirely different.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure
Yeah,
that
this
was
was,
the
yeah,
case. So thank you for that
yes,
explanation.
yes.
Okay, so we've had our discussion and the motion's been moved and seconded, so we'll look for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody
Aye.
opposed?
Hey,
And
Matt,
mo-
thank you for being on that. I know it wasn't a ton of work, but thanks for doing that.
Yeah, not a problem.
And item number 6, letter F, our appointments. We have for the Economic Development Commission, the reappointment of Judy Ganswin. This would be a 5-year term due to expire in June of 2030. I'll make that motion that we do reappoint Judy Ganswin,
I'll second.
and discussion is
Can
that
I,
she's an
Yep,
outstanding.
Matt, go ahead.
just a clarification, Scott, you said 5-year term? Is that's standard for?
I guess for EDC, it's a 5-year term.
Okay.
Carl, does that make sense, Carl? The next one is also, yeah, they're
Yeah,
both.
some of them are just longer appointments to these boards. So library is 6 years.
Okay.
So yeah, I know.
All right. Yeah, it just kind of like stuck out as an odd turn. I just want to make sure I was hearing things right. So,
Yep, we can verify that, but I believe it's correct.
okay.
And I know Judy to be an outstanding contributor, so I think that's a good thing for us to do, is to reappoint Judy.
Yep.
All right, so all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye,
Aye.
so Judy reappointed, and now we have a item 2 on letter F is Economic Development Commission, another reappointment. The term has expired, so Susan Quish will be reappointed for 5 years. If we have that motion made, I'll make that motion. We reappoint Susan Quish for a 5-year.
And I'll second.
And that's Scott and Carl. All right, any discussion?
Yeah, I mean, Susan is, one thing about Susan is she cares, and she's very involved, I know, in many different things, but on EDC and wherever Susan is, she's for that. And so I think she's a good volunteer to the community.
Second that. Okay, so we have made her motion and seconded that. We've had discussion. All those in favor of reappointing Susan Quish signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then that's it. So we're looking to adjourn. I make that motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys. See you
Thanks.
soon.
Thank
Have
you.
a Great day.